Look, when you're part of the Galactic Survey Corps, you see a lot of weird stuff. Planets made entirely of diamond. Gas giants that rain liquid metal. Moons where gravity works backwards on Tuesdays. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepares you for the day your sensors start screaming at you like they've just seen their own death certificate. Junior Survey Officer Kletch was having what he thought was a routine day. Coffee equivalent in hand, tentacles relaxed, just casually scanning the next sector when his console lit up like a supernova at a rave party. The classification system, that beautiful piece of galactic standard technology that had never been wrong in 3,000 years, was having what could only be described as a complete mental breakdown. For context, the galactic community has a simple rating system for planets. Class 1 means paradise. Bring your kids. Class 5 means pack a good environmental suit. Class 10 means you're probably going to die, but at least it'll be quick. Class 14. Class 14 means the planet itself is actively trying to murder you in 17 different ways simultaneously, and it's probably succeeding. Kletch stared at his screen. The planet rotating there, all blue and green and deceptively pretty, registered as a Class 14 Deathworld. The same classification as Infernus 7, where the atmosphere is literally acid. The same rating as Crethix Prime, where the local wildlife has evolved chemical warfare, and according to sensors, this Class 14 nightmare had billions of complex life forms on it. "Oh, that's just fantastic," Kletch muttered, reaching for the emergency comm button. Commander Zixthar was not having a good week. First, his promotion to Survey Commander had come through right before the annual fleet physical exams. Then his ship's food synthesizer had developed a glitch that made everything taste like burnt rubber. And now this. A Class 14 Deathworld that somehow, impossibly, had a thriving biosphere. "Approach vector calculated, Commander," announced Navigator Krill from her station, her voice dripping with the kind of sarcasm usually reserved for telling someone their ship is on fire. "I've plotted us a course that minimizes our exposure to the 7 active hurricane systems, the volcanic chain that's currently erupting, and whatever that weird radiation belt is doing." "That weird radiation belt is called a magnetosphere," snapped Science Officer Merta, her 12 eyes glued to her instruments. "And it's fluctuating at levels that would sterilize most known life forms. Also, preliminary analysis indicates this planet has experienced at least 5 mass extinction events. 5. It keeps killing everything on it and life just keeps coming back like it has a personal vendetta against entropy." Zixthar felt his primary stomach churning. The data scrolling across his command screen read like a horror novel written by a sadistic physicist. Atmospheric oxygen levels that would make most planets explode if you looked at them wrong. Temperature swings of 40 degrees between seasons. Tectonic plates that moved around like they were trying to win a dance competition. Weather patterns that generated electrical storms visible from space. "And the life signs?" he asked, though he already knew the answer would ruin his entire day. Merta's voice went up an octave. 8 billion. "Commander, there are 8 billion large, complex organisms down there. Concentrated in settlements. They've built cities on this death trap." Krill leaned back in her chair. "Well, this should be fun." The landing site Krill selected was what she called relatively safe, which apparently meant only 3 different things trying to kill us instead of 7. They touched down near a settlement on the planet's temperate zone, a term that made Zixthar laugh bitterly because the temperature was currently 32 degrees Celsius. That was hot enough to cook a decent meal on most civilized worlds. "Stealth field active," Merta reported. "We can observe without being detected." "Oh sweet merciful cosmos, what is that creature doing?" Through the view screen, they watched a human female running. Just running. In the heat. On purpose. Liquid was pouring down her face and body, and she appeared to be smiling about it. "Is she being chased?" Zixthar asked, scanning for predators. "No sir," Merta whispered, horrified. "I think she's doing it for enjoyment. The locals call it jogging." She's literally leaking fluids and grinning like a maniac, Krill added helpfully. I want to go home. It got worse. Much worse. They watched another human sitting outside a dwelling, eating something that their scanners identified as vegetable matter that had been doused in capsaicin, a chemical compound literally classified as an irritant toxin by the Galactic Medical Database. The human was sweating, his face had turned red, and he kept making noises that sounded like distress signals. Then he took another bite. Why? Zixthar said flatly. Just why? But the absolute final straw was the beast. A massive quadruped with teeth designed for ripping flesh, descended from apex predators that had hunted in packs, came bounding up to a small human child. Zixthar nearly hit the emergency launch button. The child giggled and hugged it. The monster's tail wagged. They domesticated the predators, Merta said, her voice hollow. They brought the murder animals into their homes and named them. This one is called Buddy. Buddy. Krill started laughing, that slightly unhinged laugh that happens when your brain can't process what it's seeing. Of course they did. Why wouldn't they? This planet is already trying to kill them, might as well invite the teeth monsters in for snacks. The humans discovered them on day 2. Not because Zixthar's crew made a mistake, but because apparently humans had developed something called trail cameras specifically to watch wildlife, and the aliens had parked near what was designated as a national park. The human who approached their ship was tall, dark-haired, and wearing the most non-threatening smile Zixthar had ever seen. Which, given the circumstances, was absolutely terrifying. Hey there, the human said cheerfully, waving a hand in what their cultural database indicated was a greeting. I'm Marcus Chen, Park Ranger. Figured you folks might need some help. First time on Earth? Zixthar decided honesty was the best policy, mainly because his brain had stopped working. We classified your planet as a Class-14 Deathworld. How are you alive? Marcus laughed. Actually laughed. Oh yeah, she's a tough old rock. Come on, I'll give you the tour. Just got the all clear from the weather service. No hurricanes expected for at least 3 days. Hurricanes are a regular concern? Merta squeaked. Well sure, it's September. Hurricane season. Though honestly, you get used to them. Not as bad as the tornadoes in the Midwest, and those folks do just fine. Marcus started walking, apparently expecting them to follow. We're pretty safe here though. No major fault lines, grizzly bears mostly keep to themselves this time of year, and we haven't had a serious wildfire in almost 2 months. Krill made a choking sound. Bears. Fault lines. Wildfire. You just listed those like weather conditions. I mean, kind of. Marcus shrugged. Oh, watch that puddle. Mosquitoes have been breeding like crazy and we've had a few West Nile cases. What's West Nile? Zixthar asked, already regretting it. Virus. Carried by mosquitoes. Tiny flying insects that drink blood. Usually not fatal though. Usually, back at the ranger station, Marcus offered them refreshments. Water from the local supply, which Merta's scanner immediately flagged as containing trace minerals, dissolved organic matter, and approximately 4,000 species of microorganisms. Marcus drank it straight from the tap, then offered them something called coffee. I think I'm going to be sick, Zixthar muttered. Marcus, bless his oblivious heart, decided to show them what humans did for something called fun. He pulled up a device and started swiping through images like he was showing off vacation photos instead of documentation of mass insanity. This is my buddy Dave. He's into rock climbing. Free solo mostly. What's free solo? Merta asked. Oh, that's when you climb sheer cliff faces without any safety equipment. Just you and the rock. One mistake and you fall to your death. Great workout though. Zixthar's hand trembled as he pointed to the next image. And this? Skydiving. You go up in an aircraft and then jump out. Fall at terminal velocity for a while, then deploy a parachute. Super fun. My sister does it every weekend. Marcus scrolled again. Oh, and this is cage diving with great white sharks. Massive predators with rows of serrated teeth. You get in a metal cage and they swim right up to you. Incredible experience. You're listing suicide methods, Krill said flatly. These are just elaborate ways to die. Marcus looked confused. No, these are hobbies. Anyway, humans are pretty resilient. We survived 5 ice ages, multiple extinction-level pandemics, and 2 world wars where we tried to kill each other with increasingly creative weapons. Oh, speaking of survival. He gestured to his lunch. Want some chili? I made it extra spicy. The capsaicin poison? Merta's voice cracked. You add that intentionally? Well yeah, it tastes good. Gives it a kick. We grow entire farms of peppers just to extract the spicy compounds. Some people even compete to eat the hottest ones. Marcus took a huge bite and smiled through the sweat forming on his forehead. There's this thing called the Carolina Reaper. Rates about 2 million Scoville units. Had one at a festival last year. Thought I was going to die, but in a good way. There is no good way, Zixthar shouted. Marcus then pointed to a photograph on his wall showing him with 2 animals. That's my dog Zeus and my cat Sergeant Whiskers. Best pets ever. Krill pulled up the genetic data. Your dog descends from gray wolves. Pack hunters. Apex predators. And your cat, Merta added, horror dawning, is a miniaturized version of solitary ambush predators with retractable claws, night vision, and a prey drive so strong they kill for sport even when well fed. Yeah, Sergeant Whiskers brought me a dead bird last Tuesday. Very thoughtful. Marcus beamed with pride that it was Merta who found it. The final piece of the puzzle that broke Zixthar's understanding of reality. She'd been running genetic analyses on human DNA samples Marcus had cheerfully provided, probably violating 17 different galactic privacy laws, when her scanner started beeping frantically. Commander, she said, her voice barely a whisper. They have a genetic predisposition for thrill-seeking behavior. It's literally coded into their DNA. They are biologically programmed to seek out danger. Marcus, overhearing this, nodded enthusiastically. Oh yeah, the adrenaline rush. It's addictive. That's why we invented extreme sports. You invented ways to almost die? Krill asked, her sarcasm breaking into genuine disbelief. Sure. Base jumping, wingsuit flying, bull riding, whitewater rafting, bungee jumping, cave diving, parkour. Marcus counted on his fingers. Oh, and we make movies specifically designed to scare us. Horror films. We pay money to be terrified. And we build these machines called roller coasters that simulate falling to your death while whipping you around at high speeds. Kids love them. Zixthar sat down heavily. His entire career had been built on the galactic safety protocols. Rigorous standards. Risk assessment. Careful categorization of danger levels. And here was an entire species that looked at danger and said, yes please, more of that. Let me get this straight, he said slowly. Your planet is actively hostile. You're surrounded by predators, diseases, and natural disasters. You've survived multiple extinction events. And your response was to invent new ways to risk death. For entertainment. When you put it like that, it sounds weird, Marcus said, scratching his head. But yeah, pretty much. Actually, I'm going hang gliding this weekend if you want to come. It's where you strap fabric wings to your body and jump off mountains. Krill started laughing again. That same unhinged laugh. We're all going to die. The retreat to the ship was not dignified. Zixtar practically ran up the boarding ramp while Marcus waved cheerfully behind them, shouting something about coming back for the hang gliding trip. Emergency transmission to Galactic Council, Zixtar ordered, his hands shaking as he strapped into the commander's chair. Priority Alpha. The Council's holographic representative materialized, looking annoyed at being disturbed. Commander Zixtar, this had better be important. Reclassify planet designated Earth from Class 14 to Class 15. Immediate implementation. Add mandatory do not disturb warning to all navigation charts. Class 15. Commander, that classification doesn't exist. Class 14 is the highest. Then make a Class 15, Zixtar shouted, his professionalism completely abandoned. The dominant species is functionally unkillable. They have weaponized their own mortality instinct. They domesticated their predators. They consume poison recreationally. They do not have a normal survival drive. I repeat, do not disturb. Merta leaned into the frame. They also have split atoms, conquered diseases that should have wiped them out, and regularly leave their planet in controlled explosions just to see what's out there. Sir, they're going to find us eventually. The council representative's face went pale. Noted. Updating classification now. Anything else? Krill leaned back, watching Earth shrink in the view screen. Yeah. If humans are what evolves on a Class 14 Deathworld, I really don't want to know what comes out of a Class 15. On the surface below, Marcus waved at the departing ship one last time, then turned back to his work. He had a busy afternoon ahead. Someone had reported a crocodile in the nearby creek, and it needed to be relocated. He grabbed his catch pole and headed out, whistling cheerfully, just another Tuesday on Earth.